Yes, sir. What's good, y'all? We back at it. You already know what time it is.
Sure.
It's August 15th. I'm with the gang, Matt G and C Mosports. You already know what time it is. It's Mosports TV, and we are here for some more NFL previews. We're going with the AFC North and the NFC South today. There's a lot of promising teams in here. There's some stinky teams in here. We're going to mix it up.
But it's going to be exciting, though. Like, it's almost like a stink fest, but it kind of excites me a little bit. I don't know. There's potential for there to be some good football, and there's also potential for there to be some really, really bad football. So what up to everybody coming in from Twitter? We got 6 viewers on the Twits right now.
What's good?
Shout out to y'all, for sure.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
All right, so let's just hop straight into it, man. Honestly, we'll start with the best team. Well, not the best team. I don't know yet. We're not gonna say the best team.
The I mean came out of you right there.
This is what on paper people say is the best team out of the two divisions, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals.
The Cincinnati Bengals, really, really interesting, especially when you start the season off the way that they did. You know, your number one guy, Joey B, Ice Cold Joe Shiesty, getting hurt the way that he did. That definitely has to raise some eyebrows and give you a little bit of a concern. But then again, we're going to talk about it. They're super, super talented, but they did lose some people, right?
Yeah, they lost Jesse Bates. They lost Samaje Perine.
Perine's going to hurt.
Hayden Hurst, Von Bell. And even though Eli Apple wasn't a big part of that success to that team, they also lost him as well. They also gained, though. They gained Orlando Brown and Jermaine Pratt, but
Big dubs.
which are very good pickups. But I feel like they lost more than they gained this offseason. So, what's the keys for the Bengals for me is honestly health. You know, they have everything that they need on offense. Obviously, Chase is one of a kind. You have T. Higgins. You got Mixon still there.
Yep, and I think they just got another running back, right? Because they said they didn't want to just overload Mixon, you know, with all of the volume. So I think they went out and got somebody in free agency too. Is that?
I don't remember.
I'm not sure, but I mean, you know what you're getting from them from an offensive standpoint. The concern for me, and a big key to the Bengals season for me, comes within their secondary. I think who is it, Ichobi or whatever he's got a crazy name, but he's a dog, and if he could take that next step as an elite cornerback, that would be or Awuzie, Chidobe Awuzie, right?
Okay, yeah, he's a dog.
He's a dog. If he could take that next step as an elite corner, I think obviously losing Eli Apple might have made them a better team, but I need to see something out of this defense if I believe that they're going to be the best team clearly out of the two divisions.
Right. I mean, I feel like they have had the advantage in the AFC North over the last 2 years. There's been a lot of rebuilding going on with the Steelers, obviously, the team that usually runs that division.
True.
The Ravens were even going through some tough times a little bit. And the Browns, you know, they're going through a whole little rebuild too. So, I mean, the Bengals have taken advantage of a very weak AFC North for the past 2 years. But I do think the rest of these teams are going to really compete this year. Really, really compete. I'm not going to say the Bengals are going to win the division. I'm going to talk about another team that could possibly win the division. But I wouldn't be surprised if they also won as well. They're that talented that they can, you know, if Joey B stays healthy. And that's another big thing. You know, he already got hurt. First practice of training camp.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Really, really little, you know, very minuscule. And Joe says Apple will be a fine fill-in until Ramsey returns. I mean, well, that's the Dolphins, so I guess. I don't know. Eli Apple's going to do his thing down in Miami, I guess. But as far as the Bengals go, yeah, I mean, Joe Burrow getting hurt, first thing first, like that's a tough pill to swallow, and it's not how you want to start off the season. But a team that talented, I'm not necessarily concerned about. How many games do you think they win overall?
Me personally, I think the Bengals are going to win 11 games. 10, honestly. Like I said, I don't know if they're going to be as good this year as they were last year. The only thing that they're bringing with them this year is more experience, you know. But with a young quarterback like Burrow, that's still not even in his prime yet, he could take the offense to a whole nother level that we haven't seen before.
Like
we haven't seen the best of Joe Shiesty yet. I feel like,
and that's crazy to say because he was already in the Super Bowl, right? So really, what is Joe Burrow's peak in your opinion?
The peak is winning it all.
Yeah.
The peak is somehow, some way beating Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship and then going on to win the Super Bowl. But like, I still don't have the Bengals even coming close to beating the Chiefs in a playoff situation. So
yeah, me either.
My expectation of them is at least second round in the playoffs.
Yeah.
At least a divisional round. I don't know if they're going to make it past that divisional round this year. But we'll see.
We will see.
We will see.
Izzy says, or Ivy, I'm sorry, says, let's talk about the future Super Bowl champs, Panthers. Bryce Young better than Mahomes.
We're going to get to the Panthers. We're going to get to the Panthers.
They're a very interesting team. We'll get to that.
No,
that division's super interesting.
Yeah, I like the NFC South. That's why we're going to talk about it today. The strong points, obviously, the Bengals is their passing game.
Yep.
Their offense in general. I get, people would usually say their offensive line, but I think they shored that up with Orlando Brown.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. That's why it was such an eyebrow raiser for me, because that's one of those additions. Like, we talk about a lot of additions going on teams just because you got to say the names to at least, get that through. But there aren't many needle movers out there. Orlando Brown actually moves the needle for me in terms of what he can bring to the table to that offensive line. He's a veteran. He's won before. And he's been on the best of the best. He's had Andy Reid. He knows how to command a front line. I'm excited to see him protecting Joe.
I agree. Their weak points, I would say their secondary is
that was my biggest
still pretty young. Eli Apple's gone. They lost Bates.
Bates was the captain of that secondary, so that hurts.
There's some question marks. There's some definite question marks with that secondary, even that linebacking core for Cincy. So let's see. I think the Bengals are just as good, maybe a little bit worse. Tops.
Got them winning 10 games.
All right, let's move on to the Cleveland Browns. The Browns. They're all these teams are like very wild cardish teams, in my opinion.
They're not. They're very unpredictable because I could see this season going either way for the Browns. Like, it totally wouldn't shock me if Deshaun Watson laid an egg and they were horrible. But then again, it wouldn't shock me if Deshaun Watson came out guns blazing and all of a sudden we were like, yo, the Browns are legit. Because they do have pieces to where if they were an elite team, it wouldn't surprise many people. It was supposed to just be Deshaun Watson coming in, taking over.
Plug and play.
That was it, And they were kind of in a similar situation to the Denver Broncos where they were just a quarterback away. And all of a sudden, people were thinking, hey, that could be the blueprint to the NFL now. Build around the quarterback and then plug in when you're ready to get your guy. But hey, if this fails, it's gonna be tough to swallow for Browns fans because you're back in purgatory again. You're back to square one. You traded an absolute bag for Deshaun Watson. You gave him the biggest contract in history.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And Ivy says don't sleep on the Browns. I think they could sneak in with a wild card.
They could.
It's tough. They could, but
they could.
We're gonna talk about a team coming up that we think is gonna be very, very much better than the Browns.
All right, so me personally with the Browns, they had it tough last year. Watson came in game 12. There's no chemistry. You're not going to build any type of chemistry coming in week 12. All right. Yeah. Now he has a full off season with these guys. He has a full understanding of the Cleveland offense. He's been in the building. No controversy, no nothing ever since he's came. And
yeah, well, the controversy did come after. Never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, Jesus. Look, I think the Browns will be a much better team than last year. They still have all their weapons pretty much. They lost Kareem Hunt, but really they still have their number one guy in Chubb. They still have Amari Cooper. They still have Njoku.
Chubb is my RB1 in fantasy this year, too. And I think that's by a landslide because I think Chubb is going to be an absolute workhorse now that Kareem Hunt's not there.
He could be RB1, He could. It's all up to his health. If he could stay healthy, Chubb always has the upside of being a top 3 fantasy running back. Me, personally, I'm going to run it back with Eckler as the best running back. He was RB1 last year.
And Joe says they have a great offensive line to protect Watson. Another reason why, that's going to help out Nick Chubb.
Right, and they added Dalvin Tomlinson.
In the trenches, okay.
Yeah, a nice little nose tackle for them. They got Rodney McLeod. They got Shelby Harris.
Shelby Harris is tough. That's a nice run stopper. I think replacing Jadeveon Clowney, the loss of Jadeveon Clowney, with guys like Shelby Harris and then Dalvin Tomlinson, I think that makes up for it and then some. I really think that the Browns have a good squad, and I think they're ready to make some noise. It's just a matter of how much in a division that's kind of decent all around.
Yeah, I agree. Like this division is such a wild card. I feel like both of these divisions are just such wild cards because each team has a very high ceiling and a very low floor.
Yeah,
and like
it's gonna be a roller coaster.
Especially for this NFC North. Like we don't know which way the Browns are gonna go.
Yeah,
we don't know.
We could see for the first 5-6 weeks of the season, a team like even the Steelers could come out and Kenny Pickett's slinging rock and they're 4-2. What was that?
Yeah, right there. Take it out.
It's not plugged into that.
It's I can hear fuzzy.
Oh, we're not plugged into the PC.
All right, never mind. Go ahead.
A team like the Steelers could come out all of a sudden 4-2, and we're like, hey, they have a great shot at winning the division, but then they could just lay eggs the second half, second 3/4 of the season. So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to follow how injuries play out in this division because there's a lot of injury-prone, injury-prevalent guys, and it's also a lot of youth all around. So I don't know. How many games do you have the Browns winning?
Realistically, 10. They can win. They can win anywhere from 8 to 11 games. They could be 8-9, even 7-10. They can go anywhere from 7-10. I feel like to 11-6 if the ceiling's high. There's a very high ceiling and a very low floor, and I feel like they could be 7-10 as well. So it all depends on how they go and how much of a gamer Watson really is.
I'm going to say 9 wins on the dot.
9 wins on the dot?
9 wins on the dot.
I mean, that's fair. It's a fair assumption. I'm not going to sit up here and say that it's not a good assumption. So.
Ivy says it sucks because the AFC is truly stacked. And yeah, right? Like, it's no matter how good you are. I mean, even a team, we haven't gotten to them yet, but even a team like the Jets that everyone is glossing over all offseason, it's like, hey, how far can you go when you still, the AFC runs through first Patrick Mahomes, second Josh Allen, and third Joe Burrow. So it's like, yo, you have to be a Goliath of a team in order to take out one of the big dogs. And
yeah, the AFC is fucking stacked this year because even after those three, you got the Dolphins, you got the Chargers, you got the Jags.
Yeah, wow.
You got a lot of shit to deal with.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. We were talking about wild card, like if a third seed could get in the wild card. I don't think it's going to be from this division. It
could though. I definitely feel like one extra team besides the winner can make a wild card spot. So like the Ravens and Bengals can make the wild card. And honestly, the Browns could definitely make it too. It all depends on Deshaun Watson. It really does. So let's move on to the Baltimore Ravens. And I feel like this team is very slept on. Very, very slept on. And my hot take for today is I think the Ravens are going to win the division this year. Over the Bengals, over everybody. The additions, they added Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers via draft, Rock Ya-Sin, even Nelson Aguilar, little bum ass, they brought in. So, hey, they lost Justin Houston and Marcus Peters. They brought in a new offensive coordinator, and that offense has a lot of weapons now. The big knock that the Ravens were getting back for the past couple of years is that Lamar Jackson doesn't have weapons. Lamar Jackson doesn't have his wide receiver one. Lamar Jackson doesn't have anybody to throw to. Greg Roman's keeping the ball in his hands, and he's not throwing the ball. Now all these question marks have gotten answered now. So there's no more excuses for the Ravens, and there's no more excuses for Lamar Jackson, and I think they're going to turn up, in my opinion.
Well, not only is there no excuses for him, but also you just got a massive payday. You finally got the contract you've been seeking, and you have that chip on your shoulder of everybody that's been saying you're running back all these years. Now you have a chance with all these wide receivers. You have the opportunity with the new offensive coordinator that's going to allow you to throw the deep ball, and I think this is only going to make Lamar Jackson even better. I mean, we've seen this guy as an MVP, and I don't even think that was his ceiling as of yet. So I have Lamar Jackson as my QB1 in fantasy this year, even above Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to say it because I think that this entire scheme with Lamar Jackson is going to allow his run game to open up even more. I think the elite passing game is going to allow him to take an even better step. And I mean, Mark Andrews, you have Dobbins over there. It's going to be a lot of damage coming in from the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I agree. First of all, Zay Flowers is the top rookie wide receiver to come out of the draft, over in Jigba Smith, over all those guys, over Quentin Johnson, over all these guys. He's been very slept on. He's a very yards after catch type of guy. And I really think he could take this Baltimore defense to a whole nother level because he's more of a yak kind of guy. He gets them short to medium routes and turn it into very long plays. He reminds me of like a Tyreek Hill type, but I feel like he's more of a slot guy than Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's more out on the outside, burning you for deep. Zay Flowers more on the inside, killing you.
Like, it's funny.
Agility,
It's really funny because now Odell is on the team with him, but I know you remember that one Odell slant against the Ravens that he ran and that he took for, I think, like 65, 70 yards. I want to say, like, those are the types of plays you can expect from Zay Flowers this season.
Exactly. And I feel like Odell is going to be more over the top now.
Yep.
He's going to be the decoy even.
Yeah.
They're going to throw long balls his way just to loosen the secondary up, and then you're going to hit Zay Flowers underneath and medium routes up the middle. And Mark Andrews is Mark Andrews, bro.
Yeah, you already
At the end of the day, Mark Andrews is Mark Andrews. He's going to have a hell of a year because now they can't double team him in the box. There's no way they could key in on Mark Andrews when you have Odell and fucking Zay Flowers, Bateman, and even Nelson Aguilar out there. Even J.K. Dobbins. You know what I'm saying? They got a lot of weapons out there. And you got to worry. And after all that, you got to worry about fucking Lamar Jackson running the ball.
That's what I mean.
When everything else breaks down.
That's what I mean.
Defense are going to lose their mind against this Baltimore offense, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. I have the Ravens winning 11 games.
Yeah, I was saying 12. I was thinking 12-5, 11-6. I feel like the worst they can win is 10 games.
I was going to say the worst, in my opinion. We're one game apart. So I have their ceiling at 11, maybe even 12. But I think the worst that they are is 9 wins.
Yeah, I'm about one game up from everything. I think they can even hit 13 games.
Wow.
I think they could. Wow. I really, really, really do. It all depends on that defense and how that secondary can respond, because last year it was absolute dog shit. Wink Martindale left that. And Marcus Peters was looking like absolute barbecue chicken. They finally got rid of him. They get Rock Yassin. So hopefully that shores up that secondary, because they were giving it up.
They were.
Big time. Big fucking time. And I don't know. We'll see.
We shall. All right, next up, the last team in that division, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, a lot of people are sleeping on the Steelers, but let's not forget, at the end of the day, the backbone of that team, Mike Tomlin, has it's 1 year that he hasn't made the playoffs, right?
First year, yep.
That was the first year, and they were damn close, too.
They still almost got it.
They were damn close near the end to where people thought they had a chance. And shout out to Kenny Pickett, the Ocean Township native. He's slinging rock, apparently. According to training camp, Kenny's slinging the ball. So I'm excited to see the potential. They added Allen Robinson, which, I don't know. Last year I would have thought this is a weapon, but I need to see it from him in order to really believe it, because we thought going to L.A. that he was going to be a big weapon for them, and he kind of laid an egg. So seeing him in Pittsburgh, maybe it'll revive his career a little bit. They got Keanu Neal, who I think is a good pickup as well. Patrick Peterson, not necessarily the biggest pickup in either of our minds. Kind of burnt chicken, but hey, Kenny Pickett to George Pickens, that's going to become an elite connection this year, and Ivy said
And don't they still have Claypool as well?
No, Claypool's in Chicago.
Oh, duh. Yeah, I mean, Pickett to Pickens should be fun to watch. Obviously, they
George
also
Pickens been a dog his whole college career.
he's been a savage. He's been a menace. Now he needs somebody, but he's been quiet too. He's been talking all this shit ever since he's been drafted, but I haven't seen a big game from him yet. You know,
we see highlights.
He has one great catch maybe every other week. You know what I'm saying, and then he disappears.
Yeah.
So let's see if they can have a consistent connection.
Yep.
That's going to be a big part of it.
Get that man.
Najee Harris needs to fucking get back to whatever fucking level he was when he was dominant. But that's a big if.
That's a big if, because I don't know if you remember seeing that one clip of him where he tried hitting a little juke and he just stayed in the same spot. And they were like, oh my God, this guy looks like, Brown's Josh Cribbs. It was bad. It was really ugly out there. Sometimes, I don't know, you lose a step when you get a big injury like the way Najee's knees haven't held up, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Ivy says Jalen Warren's taking that spot. It wouldn't even shock me, which the fall of Najee would be crazy, but it really wouldn't surprise me.
Is it really crazy nowadays in the NFL? These running backs are good for one breakout year, and it feels like they have one great year, and then they fall right the fuck off. They're done.
Get hurt. The defense is scheme against you. There's so many factors going into it that running backs, I mean, hey, that's why they're not getting paid, right? And that's why Najee was sitting in that Zoom call with everybody else, because his ass ain't getting paid either. And even then, I saw the memes about, him being in that Zoom call with the elite running backs, and it was like the one clown standing with all the soldiers. You know what I mean? That meme. So, I don't know. Najee stinks, in my opinion.
Nah, it's... That running back life cycle is probably 3 years,
max.
And this is what, his fourth year?
Yep.
So
year 3.
We'll see with Najee. That defense it's got to stay healthy. TJ Watt has to stay healthy. Minka Fitzpatrick has to stay healthy. They lost Devin Bush, but I still think that defense still has something left in it if they could just fucking stay healthy. TJ has to stay healthy. That's a big key if the Steelers want to do anything, is the health is TJ Watt, bro.
You know how the Watts get down. That HGH has their ligaments tearing like Scotch tape. It's bad, dog. It's horrible. Like, they cannot stay healthy for anything. And it's like, bro, I don't know. There's something in the water.
Too many cycles. It's in the juice.
Yeah,
in the water.
The ligaments can't hold up with all that muscle mass.
Sometimes. So what is Kenny Pickett's true ceiling? Like, can he really be a dog? Like, can he really be him? Like we've only saw a sample size of him at Pitt. At the end of the day, we really ain't see him really sling rock like these guys are saying. I need to see this. I need to see Kenny Pickett throw for 400 yards real quick. I need to see it. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him put up buckets via the air. We know he can run, but Ben Roethlisberger, he knew how to make plays off of throwing the ball on the run, and Kenny Pickett's gonna have to learn how to get out of that pocket and make second chance plays.
Yep. I mean, Kenny, I really think Kenny, although, you don't really want to take a page out of Big Ben's book out of all people.
Yeah, I mean.
But, no, I mean more off the field. But I think he's got to take a little advice from Big Ben and kind of force himself in situations sometimes. So, I don't know. Definitely excited to see. I think if there's if there's a spot where Kenny Pickett could thrive, I think Pittsburgh is a great spot because they're going to put him in the best situation that he can be in order to win. Their offensive line is solid. They have Pickens. They just got Allen Robinson. They're trying to get him a little offensive help. So, I don't know. Let the kid cook, and we'll see what happens.
I feel like they're financially strapped right now, too, still, from when they were good. They got to get more offensive weapons, whether it's, via trade or next offseason. I feel like Allen Robinson and Pickens is definitely not close to enough.
No, you need, they have...
or Najee Harris.
They have Freiermuth, who's actually a pretty...
So he's okay. He's above average.
He's not a bad tight end.
He's not bad, but he's not like, oh my God, he's not top 10, even in my opinion, no. He's not a top 10 tight end, in my opinion.
I think Jonathan Taylor would have been a really interesting spot if he did request a trade.
Out of there. Yeah, I agree.
How many games?
7.
Yeah.
7.
7.
Didn't they get 7 last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting 7 again.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
The stacked, not even.
They really
stacked
just
division,
didn't get better, bro.
Yeah,
They didn't get better, and everybody else in the division did.
Yeah, I mean, I said it. How many
Except
of
for
these
the Bengals,
additions are really
but
needle movers? Like, there really isn't that many.
the skill gap between the Steelers and the Bengals is so far apart that even if the Bengals got worse and the Steelers got better, they're still not even close to each other.
Yeah.
They were close to the Browns. The Browns got a lot better, I feel like, and the Ravens got a lot better. So,
Yeah,
I mean, the
the
Steelers, you're stuck on stupid, pretty much. You didn't get much better. You just got a little bit more experience, you know, and just another offseason down, and hopefully Kenny Pickett does get it together. I'm rooting for him. He's a Jersey Shore native, so I'm always going to root for those guys.
Hell yeah.
So who do we think, what's the order of the AFC North?
I'm going Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers.
What'd you say again? Say it one more time.
Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers. And I think the gap between the Bengals and the Ravens is maybe 1-2 games max. 2 games max.
Yeah, I'm going to flip it. I'm going to go Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers. It's going to be tight. I really don't know the real true order. I just think the Ravens are going to win.
Okay. I mean, it wouldn't shock me. Would not shock me. All right, let's move on. Let's get the Ivy's Panthers out there. Let's talk about it. Because they're a very, very interesting team. I mean, you're coming in, lot of youth on that squad, especially at quarterback. You're bringing in Bryce Young. You went out and got him some pieces, though. You're giving the kid some weapons to work with. You got DJ Chark, you got Adam Thielen, Miles Sanders, Hayden Hurst. So those are pretty big, in my opinion, and you didn't lose anybody. You lost nobody. Hey, we knew that Panthers defense was always there. They were solid last season. They were not a bad defense, especially the secondary, but the offense couldn't do shit. So I'm really, really excited because I'm a Bryce Young believer, and I think they're going to be better than a lot of people anticipate them being.
Yeah, the Panthers are a very interesting group of players. I mean, they brought in some good vets. You know, they brought in some good leadership in Adam Thielen, some good leadership in Miles Sanders, some good leadership in DJ Chark. A lot of good guys. Von Bell is a leader.
Hayden Hurst, that's a lot. These are locker room dudes.
These are all guys that know how to play some football. You know, that whole offense has completely turned over from last year.
Yep.
Bryce Young, I mean, he's just damn near just as tall as Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's a big question mark,
They're calling him like the Steph Curry of the NFL. The way that he's coming in, baby-faced assassin type of vibe. But, hey, it wouldn't shock me.
I gotta see it, man. I gotta see it to believe it with Bryce Young. I really, really gotta see it to believe it. I don't know if I'm a fan yet or not. And Mingo, they got out of the draft as well, is going to be another weapon for him. It's very question. It's a big question. I don't know what the Panthers are gonna do. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. They can fuck around and win a division if it gets real crazy, you know. Or they could be in line for another top 3 pick. That's literally like there is such a low floor and such a high ceiling for this year for the Panthers, depending on which path they want to take. You know, they got some good guys. They got some weapons. They got a decent defense. I think it's going to be up to Bryce Young. You know, a rookie quarterback. Rookie quarterbacks, they need veterans around them, and, you know, Carolina did that, but it's still going to be up to Bryce Young. And that switch from college to fucking pro is a big switch.
Real. Yeah,
it's a real switch, man. And especially being on the Panthers, we don't know what we gonna get, man.
Yeah.
I really don't know what's gonna happen.
And Ivy says they sweep the division. I mean, the thing is,
I don't know
you
about
look
that.
around, I don't think they sweep the division, but it wouldn't surprise me if they came out with a fantastic divisional record.
I can see 4-2 if they're hot.
Yeah, I think that there's an opportunity for some success here, but you know, as much as we talked about their strengths being bringing in all of these guys, at the same time, your weakness is that you brought in a bunch of new guys. You have a ton of youth. You have a ton of new faces. This is a lot of chemistry that has to be built. So I don't know. When you look around that division, there's another team that we'll get to that we probably have, taking a slight edge over them. But I think they're going to be very exciting to watch, and I think they're going to exceed some expectations. So my overall win total for them is going to be, I'm going to have to meet, I feel like I got to go one side or the other. I think they're going to be better than expected, and I have them winning 7 games.
I was going to say 7 games too, but they could also win only 5 games, and they could also win 9-10 games if Bryce Young is him. If he really lives up to who he is, and these NFL defenses can't figure him out, and he's running all over the place, he's throwing all over the place. They could win the division. They could. But I don't see it. I personally think they win 7 games. They come in 3rd place in the division, and they build from there.
That's the most realistic.
That's a good turnaround for the Panthers.
Season.
That's a great season for the Panthers. 7 wins.
Yeah,
in my opinion, going from one of the worst teams, 2nd, 3rd pick to 7-9. That's a good start, in my opinion.
Yeah, because they're looking to win probably 2025. That's when they're looking to really make a splash. So I don't know. Ivy says, remember this in December, 10 wins minimum. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't know. It all depends on Bryce, man. If Bryce can really turn it up and take the league by storm, yeah, it could happen. 10 wins could happen. But I don't see it. Rookie quarterbacks in the NFL is just it's so tough. And like I said, with Mahomes and Herbert and all these guys like Burrow that came in year 1 started cooking. It's so rare. We were watching a special time in the history of the NFL.
It's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Quarterbacks do not come in and going crazy like that. And I don't think Bryce Young is going to do that either. So
I mean, even a guy like Josh Allen, who is, arguably the 2nd best quarterback in the league, didn't come, in his rookie year and sling rock like that. It took 2-3 years.
It took his 3rd, 4th year for him to really start dominating.
Yep.
So we'll see.
All right, heading over. Let's take it to the ATL because the Atlanta Falcons are a really interesting team. You're going with basically rookie quarterback, right? Desmond Ridder played 4 games last season, which is a really big head scratcher to both of us because we're thinking if the plan was always to go with Desmond Ridder going into 2023. What's happening,
Right.
Maine? Hope you're doing well.
Maine.
Unfortunately, you missed our Bengals preview, but make sure you go back and check that. Yeah, the Falcons, we really think you should have went with Desmond Ridder for at least half the season last year. And now all of a sudden you're throwing him into a fire with a few new offensive weapons. You got Bijan Robinson through the draft. You went out and got Mac Hollins as well. But that's really all you're bringing to the table. You have the trio of Bijan, Algier, and Cordarrelle Patterson alongside Kyle Pitts. That's going to be cool. And obviously you have Drake London, who is going to be a big target for Ridder. But I don't know. Ivy says they're low-key tanking for Caleb Williams.
They could be. I don't know, man. Because, look, they brought in a lot of good guys, man. First of all, Jesse Bates. That's a great pickup at the cornerback position. Yeah. Bud Dupree, Mac Hollins, Bijan, and that's a lot of good players to bring in to that situation. Obviously, Marcus Mariota was not it for them, but bringing in, starting a guy like Ridder who put up 700 passing yards in 4 games in his last, if he can be comfortable in that offense and sling rock. He has the weapons there. London, Pitts, Bijan.
Yeah. And the division's
Mac Hollins.
We're talking about it as if they stink that bad, but the thing is the division is wide open.
Wide
open. The only reason they played Mariota is because they were in the mix for so long last season. It's still going to be in that same kind of situation. I agree with Ivy in a sense that Ridder, no way Ridder's your guy, but I don't know. I think there's still room to win games because division's so weak.
The division is wide open. I still don't even know who I'm going to pick to win the division by the end of this episode. So, I really don't know who's going to win. The Falcons definitely have a shot, though. The Falcons definitely have a shot. If Ridder can step up and be that guy and deliver the ball down the field without turning the ball over, if the defense can play defense for once, they have a shot. Because they had a shot last year.
Yep. But just like we talked about with the Panthers, the weak points come in that rookie quarterback scenario. Basically a rookie.
He's basically a rookie.
A rookie. I mean, we're going to agree with you there, or at least I am. I know I'm going to be rolling with the Saints to win that division.
Yeah.
But I think
it's still wide open,
It
though.
still is wide open. You went out, you got guys that are kind of difference makers. Like Jesse Bates is going to captain that defense. So I really think that's going to be exciting to see. But it all comes down to how good can Ritter be, and I'm not a believer that he's the guy.
It's very questionable for me too. He hasn't. He didn't really show anything the four games that he played, but who knows? He's the same. He reminds me of like Sam Howell. We don't know what Sam Howell's gonna do, but I expect him to not be good. And that's how I feel about Desmond Ritter. Me personally, I think ATL is gonna wind up winning 6 to 9 games.
I'm winning 5. I'm not a believer.
You're not a believer?
5 wins, 6 max. Bottom is 3.
So you think they could be they could be the worst teams?
I think they could be one of the worst teams. I still don't even think they're the worst in that division, though.
Neither do I.
Ugh.
I definitely don't think so either.
All right, let's talk about them then. Let's get them out of the way.
You want to get them out the way?
Talk about the best of the best.
All right, let's talk about the Bucs. I mean, they added Baker Mayfield and Chase Edmonds, which wasn't really much of anything. They lost Sean Murphy-Bunting, Akeem Nicks, and Carl Nassib. What's the keys? Like, first of all, they have a quarterback controversy going on down there in Tampa. That's a problem. If Baker Mayfield is in the hunt to win your starting quarterback in 2023, that's a very nasty bag.
Yeah, and he's
that is not a good sign, bro.
Yeah,
it's not a good sign.
He's leading the case for starting quarterback, and that's hysterical because the first thing, like one of the first reports coming out of camp was Baker Mayfield has just thrown 3 interceptions in his first 5 passes. So it's disgusting over there. And I said it's the wildest quarterback controversy ever. So I agree in a sense that this is nuts.
It's a real true problem because even if Trask wins it, it's Kyle fucking Trask.
Yeah.
What the fuck are they gonna do? What is this team gonna do? Their only strong point really is their fucking wide receivers. They got Mike Evans, they got Godwin still. But other than that, what is good about that team?
No, you don't have Lenny, you don't have Ronald Jones anymore. The identity that you had with TB12
is gone. That whole shit is gone. That whole identity is gone. Obviously they have Evans and Godwin left, but that's not saying much. It doesn't matter if you got him. If Kyle Trask or Baker Mayfield is your fucking quarterback.
Yeah.
I really, really could see the Bucs being the worst team in the league this year. Mm-hmm. I really, truly can see that happening. As well. I can see it happening. I can see them winning 3 games. That's it. I can see them winning 3 to 6 games tops.
3 stinkers, 4 games max.
3 Vegas games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can really get bad for the Bucs.
It can.
It can really get bad, and I don't see really any upside. As long as Baker Mayfield's your quarterback, they're really trying to get Caleb Williams, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Caleb Williams would be plug and play in Tampa. I feel like that would be a good little match for them.
Yeah, with Mike Evans.
Yeah, that would be nice. But
for right now,
they stink, man. I would rather have Jameis Winston back out there. If I'm a Bucs fan,
that's rough.
I would rather have Jameis Winston back out there.
Probably.
With his 30 TDs and his 30 interceptions.
Yep.
I'd much rather have that than bum-ass Baker Mayfield who can't even throw on the left side of the field. Or Kyle Trask. I don't even know what Kyle Trask can do, but the fact that he's not clearly winning over this bum Baker Mayfield says a lot about himself, too.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I just don't see anything happening with the Bucs. I'm saying 3 to 5 games, tops.
Yeah.
Tops.
I'm saying 2 to 4.
2 to 4.
2 to 4. I'm sorry. I'm a hater.
No, I'm definitely hating too. But one team I'm definitely not hating on, this is New Orleans Saints. Always got mad for the NOLA Saints, man. They bring in Derek Carr, Jamal Williams, which is very low-key, very underrated signing by the Saints. And Foster Moria, which is also another pretty decent pickup. And he was solid in Dallas, Actually, was he on the Raiders? I'm bugging. I think Mario was on the Raiders, but solid nonetheless.
Main says it's going to be hard for anyone other than the Cardinals to get in on the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. We'll see.
I agree.
They stink too.
It's the Cardinals, the Bucks. And what other team can we say is definitely in the running?
Bottom of the barrel like that?
Stinkers. There's got to be.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of teams that really need that quarterback. Like, I don't know. Maybe the Commanders if shit really goes south.
Could be.
That's
Commanders really could be in that running too, but they have a decent team around them.
With the Saints, the thing for me is that offense has the potential to be pretty explosive.
Yeah.
I mean, Derek Carr can air that bitch out, and you obviously Chris Olave, who is an elite wide receiver, and he's going to prove that this season. I'm very, very confident in that. And then I hate to say it, I put it on Twitter probably like a month ago. I'm back on the Mike Thomas train. I hate to say it, but this is the best quarterback he's had since Drew Brees.
I agree.
You know, you have a whole new offense over there. You have Derek Carr, who, like we said, can sling the rock. Probably a similar, somewhat kind of quarterback to Drew Brees. He's not escaping the pocket too crazily. He's really trying to sit in there and throw the ball. And Chris Olave, being as good as he is going to be able to take a lot of pressure off of Mike Thomas needing to be that wide receiver one. So I think it's, like said, I think it's slant boy season, baby.
Yeah, I think it is slant boy season, and man, look, that New Orleans offense has always been explosive with a good quarterback. When they had Drew Brees there, that's somebody who could deliver the rock to all of his weapons, distribute it the right way, and that's what Derek Carr is about too. Like, he could spread the wealth. Yeah. It could go to Olave one play, it could go to Mike Thomas the next play. Yes, Kamara's out for the first 4, but guess what?
3. We're good.
First 3. But you got Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
Which is
a dog.
He could be a starting running back in a lot of places.
Most places. True.
In a lot of places, he could really be the starter. And I feel like that's a steal, especially losing Kamara for the first 3. But when Kamara comes back,
that tandem's going to be nasty.
Yes, exactly. That
and
1-2 punches.
Taysom Hill.
Yeah, they still have all their guys. They still have all their guys over there from when they were really dominant with Drew Brees. And hopefully Derek Carr can replicate that. And I feel like it's definitely possible.
The biggest key for me is Derek Carr, you are on fraud alert. Not like very, very highly, because if they don't do anything, it falls on him. And because that shows that, like, you were, even when you were with the Raiders weren't the problem, because everybody thinks, the Raiders are a trash franchise right now. But if Derek Carr, if you escape that situation the way that you were really, really like, thank God I'm out of there, you got to come out and get buckets now.
The Raiders are another team that's on the Caleb Williams watch.
They are. That's a good one.
But the Saints, man, like,
how many wins? I'm going 9. All right, no, I'm going to go 10.
I'm going 10.
Because 10 will win the division.
10 wins the division. I feel like the Panthers could get like 8 to 9 wins and come in second place.
Then I have the Falcons and then the Bucks.
Another 7 wins, and then the Bucks 2 or 3 wins.
Stinky. Overall, just an odd division. But like we said, it's very weird being that there's tons of wild cards going on. Like, this could mix and match any single way, except one thing: Tampa Bay, y'all suck.
Right. Those top 3 teams, Saints, Falcons,
nothing
Panthers,
is Teflon.
can be swapped in and out any which way.
Yep.
But I feel like the Saints do have the edge over everybody else because they have the actual experience.
Yep.
Everybody on that Saints team knows how to play playoff football and know how to win big-time games. The rest of them don't. Straight up. Nobody on the Panthers knows how to win big-time games, maybe except for Miles Sanders, and he's a running back. So, I mean,
with Derek Carr, aside from his literal one season with Devontae Adams, I think this is the best. What Chris Olave, I'm talking about, is the best wide receiver Derek Carr's ever had.
For sure.
So it wouldn't surprise me.
For sure. I'm trying to think of like who he had in Oakland.
Nobody, bro. Henry Ruggs was his best wide receiver. Hunter
Jordy
Renfro.
Nelson.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. This is definitely his second best wide receiver he's ever played with. I mean, Waller.
Yeah.
And you saw what Waller did with Derek Carr. Hunter Renfro had a season with Derek Carr too. So like, if he can get that connection with Olave or even Thomas,
it's up.
It's up. I think the Saints win the division though overall, no matter what.
Me too. All right, it's time. We're capping off this episode with something crazy. The fact that this is the last thing we're going to be addressing before we come back until next week, till we come back next week, is nuts. But I don't even know how to put this out there. Wander Franco, you are one sick individual.
I smoke rock.
Yeah.
I smoke rock.
Insane. Wander Franco, allegedly,
This is a sick Negro.
according to some sources in the Dominican Republic, some people on social media have put together that Wander Franco has been dating a 14-year-old.
This is a sick Negro. This is a sick Negro.
One more time, yeah.
Wander Franco, if the rumors are true,
Yeah.
okay, we always have to put a disclaimer out there. But from the looks of it, it is true
It's
because
looking crazy for you right now, bro.
that photo looks fucking crazy.
She's wearing your gear.
And two, he's not on the team.
Yeah, they took him out.
They took him off the roster for now until they get some more of their facts straight. But it's not looking fucking good. And if it's true, if she's really 14 fucking years old, you need to go under the fucking jail. You have all this fucking money, all this influence. You can get any fucking girl you want, and you choose to get a 14-year-old girl. You got me fucked up. Not only do you deserve to go to fucking jail, you need your fucking dick cut off and banned from the fucking MLB. Straight like that.
Shit.
You're a fucking pussy. Fuck you.
He apparently,
If true.
he is not going back to the Dominican Republic because apparently people know over there, and that's why he hasn't.
They
been
want his
home.
head.
And they want his head, and they also, he said he's not coming back until she's 18. That's apparently what he said to somebody, is I'm not going back to DR until she turns 18. That's insanity. But nah, man, if true, but like everything, like if you look up Wander Franco for with this situation, there is so much against Wander. It's really, really looking bad. On top of the fact that the Rays pulled him from the game, it's really looking bad out here for him. And as somebody that got the biggest contract in franchise history, that's a bag fuck.
If there's going to be professional leagues, right, and they want to have zero tolerance on anything, it has to be that.
Yeah,
pedophilia, that shit cannot be tolerated in professional sports leagues. I won't stand for it. I know all the men that are fans of these leagues that have daughters would not stand for this type of behavior. I don't stand for this type of behavior. Not like I said, not only does he deserve to be banned from the MLB, he needs to go into jail and into general population in jail. No PC.
Oh, Mod said
No PC.
Mod said you snapped. Yeah, it's insane. I can't even believe it, bro. Like you said, you are a MLB superstar. What are you doing? Like, God, like these guys are
This is a sick Negro.
so stupid. I don't even know what to say about it anymore. I really hope that honestly it's not true.
I hope we're wrong, but it's just not looking like that.
It's looking
this
bad.
Is what,
it's been a few
what it
days
really
brewing
is.
now. Like he got pulled from the game, I think.
His
3 or 4
agent
days
or
ago.
lawyer would have said something by now, saying that he's innocent, and this is blackmail or this is looking true as the days go, truer and truer. Yeah. So we're gonna end it on that. Honestly.
Yeah, that was crazy. We appreciate everybody tuning in. It's been some good previews. We're going to be back at it next week. Another week closer to the NFL regular season.
Almost there, baby.
We are almost there. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe wherever you're coming from, and we will catch you guys in the next one.